about agility in leadership, and we need to create and we need to show we need to create a slideshow for our teacher with a voice audio record, not your voice, in our voice, uh, through presentation, that one aspect of agility in in the workplace. And basically, we have three options. The one option to uh, pick up one agile practice from our work if we are working in agile, or pick up one topic how we can make agile working in our private life, or we can have an interview with an agile professional and asking him in this case about his point of view about how the agile working, what is the experience, why he choose this path, or how overall feels the agile is working or adaptable in every era in our life, or at least if you use agile in the workplace, have you ever recognized that you use agile in your private life? So it's if it's have a any smudged borders. So it's basically I gave you 6 questions that it should be cover most of the topics, or at least it should cover all of the interest what we would like to discuss.
Okay.
So it's basically my first question. It's how your agile journey began and what inspired you to pursue this era. Uh, you are coaching too, am I right? Not just
Yes,
using it.
yes, I am coaching too. But however, I'm not starting as a coaching, for sure, right? I am, well, at that time, I worked as a PM at IBM, normally doing
Mhm.
some projects. And at that time, I was in GBS, Global Business Services. You
Mhm.
remember GBS, GTS, this?
I worked for GTS.
Yeah, it always was GTS. At that time, was a GBS. Anyway, I was there as a PM. And then on 2014, so
Mhm.
12 years ago, they decided to have an external company to do some training, 2 or 3 days training about Agile for PMs.
Mhm.
And my name was considered at that time, and that's great. And I and some friends went to the hotel where IBM was paying for this training, and we have 3 lovely days learning about Agile, especially about Scrum,
Mhm.
right? That one is one of the frameworks approach that usually Agile use. It was
Yes.
very nice, very, very interesting. I enjoy it. Was different from me. I has already listened about Agile, but never went through that.
Mhm.
And then I started to use some of the concepts in my projects, in my daily by daily projects, right? And nothing special, but few things, meetings, focus, get more a little bit of retrospectives. Anyway, the point is that we noted after doing that in some projects that I start to see some results in a different
Mhm.
way. Okay, I start to see that the team was more focused. The participation of the team, they feel more comfortable to share ideas, to discuss what is going well, and especially the problems, the issues. Sometimes the people don't want to share, to talk about that,
Mhm.
right? And with that, we start to see points that we could improve our project, our process, and so on. So basically, I start to use the concepts and see the good results. That I saw, okay, that's nice. I really enjoy that.
Mhm.
Looks that we can do something different on this matter. And this is how I started
Mhm.
with agility, basically, was to have a training and start to apply in my day by day work.
Mhm.
Okay. not like following strictly a Scrum approach or
Mhm.
doing the things in totally rigid way, but try to adapt in my day by day.
Mhm. Was
Okay.
it a long-term project or it's a shorter? I mean, it's, less than a year or more than a year project?
Well, both. We have
Both.
some smaller projects, and we have one that was part of a program. It was
Hmm.
ongoing continuous improvement activities. That this took more than 1 year.
So you were able
So
to even use the Scrum processes even in more versatile teams that even it's in a short term, grouping
yeah,
together in a short term.
yes, we can. Because at the end, all depends of the, I would not say type of project, because I believe that we can use some agility in any kind of
Hmm.
project or program. The point is that uh, we need to identify how can we incorporate some agility in this specific program or not. Usually, I would say that most of my work I do in a hybrid way.
Hmm.
Okay, I use concepts because what I think is that in generally, when you think in agility and agile, we have different tools, right?
Hmm.
Different, yes, like a toolbox. Okay, we
Hmm.
have different tools. We have this kind of meeting, this kind of approach, or this ceremony, or this kind of conversation or this planning of projects. And then we start to pick what you think will be better for that specific situation, right?
Hmm.
So I would say that usually for me today, I have the tools from agility. I have the tools from waterfall. We have the tool from others. We have everything there.
Hmm.
And then we start to pick what you think will be better for that moment. Okay, at least is how I run my projects or how I try to coach people as well
Hmm.
on this area.
And when was the
Okay.
point when you decided you want to be a coach, or it's just come from naturally? I mean, I know you are talkative and you are very, uh, how can I say, it's very open-minded person. But when was the point that you decided that you will be a coach?
Well, this happens when I move it from GBS to GTS
Hmm.
at IBM. Because GBS was a kind of agile cultural, the people are working on that. When I joined GTS as a PM for the project area, really that has nothing with agile.
Hmm.
Okay, it was starting. We at that moment they have some PMs that are starting to investigate and to try to get some learning on that. And then when I noted that, I joined it to them, right? So we
Hmm.
start to have a team that be together to discuss about agility, to start to understand better. As I have some background, I started to share some knowledge. And in a naturally way, I was taking the leadership of this team, okay,
Hmm.
because I had some knowledge. So uh, we discussed that, we try to apply, we talk with some others, and then we start to learn some other approach like Kanban, okay, in
Hmm.
agility. So not only me, but with some other, well, I would say 5 PMs, we started to go in deep on that.
Hmm.
And then I was able in 2017, if I'm not wrong, as this idea of the agility uh, got some fire at that moment, right? Everybody wants to talk about it. Uh, we had some agile workshops for PMs.
Hmm.
So I was there in the front teaching the folks about Scrum, about the Kanban, especially about the Kanban. That was one approach that GTS was using. And
Hmm.
then I believe I don't remember exactly how many, maybe 3 different workshops, but at the end was more than 100 PMs that we went to that. It
It's
was
huge.
a day, a full day from 9 to 5, where we
Mhm.
went to several aspects regarding agility and Kanban. It was very nice. I really enjoy it, and I like to to teach a little bit that I know. I
Mhm.
know that I don't have too much knowledge, but at least what I have, I try to share. And at this moment, in GTS, in our area, the PM area that was more than 100, I was started to be like a reference on agility. When you want to discuss something regarding Agile, they come to me and they say, "Oh, I want to implement this in my project. What do you think? What do you think I can do? Oh, maybe you can do this, this, and that." So I start to be a kind of reference
Uh-huh.
that I am until now. When the people hear they say, "Oh, did oh no, let's talk with Mandl," and there are several other folks that probably knows more than me at the moment, but I'm still the reference.
But that's
And
nice. That's nice.
yeah, yeah, it's interesting. And then with this movement that was happening inside IBM, they brought from US an agile coach, okay?
Mhm.
And then to stay 1 week of trainings on that. And at this moment, they start to select a lot of different team members from GTS, and my name was there. And we need to, I was looking on that, we need to have a checklist. We need to prove that we have uh, a lot of different trainings to be on this Agile Coach week. But
Mhm.
anyway, I had that, and then I went. This was in 2018 that
Mhm.
we have 1 week of immersive training on agility and Agile Coach. That was very, very good,
Mhm.
and was very fun because we have a lot of people, some that work with me, some that we knew it but not work it and become friends. And anyway, it's always very good when we can interact with the others. So that's why or how I became an agile coach. Was not something that I was looking for in my path. Was something that happens naturally.
Mhm.
I would say that when I became uh, uh, an agility person on GTS, I think the next step naturally will be a coach. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is how it, I think, was my turning point when I was there with the other PMs, helping everybody to understand better and how to work with PM, with
Mhm.
agility, and to deal with the people that don't want to, right? That's very normal. That's very normal, right?
Yeah, the
Mm.
resistance.
Yeah,
It's
that's,
always
but
there.
anyway, this is one of the topics I would talk later, but I can talk a little bit on that because this is a normal behavior, I think,
Mhm.
on the people because uh, usually the people don't want to change, right? Everybody's comfortable in one way. Maybe
Yes.
you are comfortable with your coffee, right? And sometimes we don't want to change. I'm good. Why am I going to do something different?
Yeah,
Why
if
I'm
it's
going to look,
yeah, if something
right?
it's working, why I would like to change. But if you are not
Exactly.
evolving, that is another thing. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So this is something uh, that is a challenge that we always need to face, right? The
Hmm.
people, they are good how they are. So we need to learn how to deal with that.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is one challenge. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
so this is how I turned it to be an agile coach,
And
right?
did you see any difference after the week of training, how you approach problems, uh, or it's what was your so what the trainings exactly gave you? So it's you had a method how you deal with people previously, and you were almost an agile coach, not a certified, but everybody looked at you as you are an agile coach,
Yeah.
and you helped to develop the maturity of the agile culture in your in the GTS. And after what was the take from the training after the week? So it's
I would say that is really how to deal with people. At
Uh-huh.
the end is always with people, right? So the problems that we face are the people, the achievements are with people, so it's always related with that.
Mhm,
Is mostly how to deal with the different personalities, with different characteristics, with the different team members that probably you have in a project, okay?
mhm,
Or in some cases with the stakeholders and so on. So I think that was more, if we think the learning that I had for that week was more regarding how to deal with people, okay?
mhm,
And then uh, I think this is the key, but not only agility, I think in general, right? Because if we think in a project, let's take an example of a project,
mhm.
right? When you have somebody working together to do something, to
Yes.
deliver something, right? So usually you have a team. And I always think that at the end, the team members, the people need to be happy. Okay, so we need to
Yeah.
do everything that everybody be happy, right? Because when the people are happy, they are okay, they are fine. Usually, they work better, right?
Mhm.
They do a work with more quality. Sometimes they are able to produce more, okay, because they are happy, they are fine, and most of the cases they deliver on time, so
Uh-huh.
we have less delay. If we are fine with not so much pressure and you are fine, you are probably work with less errors, right? But because errors everybody do, mistake is normal. We do
Yes.
this every day in our life, so in a project is normal. So the point is that this is a cycle. We start being happy and then we are getting better work, better work. As a consequence of this is our customer or who we are intended to provide some service. If they noted that we work on you, we deliver on time with less errors, everything is working fine, probably they will buy more things from us. Okay,
Mhm,
they will you get more confidence in the team, and they will be more favorable to start making more business. So I think one of my topics that I like, if we think in not philosophy, I will not say like that, but I always like to work with the team, okay?
mhm,
That the team feel comfortable, right? I know that some managers usually I will not say dictate, but they establish very clear how everything will be working and so on. And for sure, this works as well, but sometimes it's better when we start to discuss this with the team, and the team together can come with the best approach, the best
mhm,
solution, right? So this is how I work usually with the team. I try to see how the team can work better
mhm.
instead of me coming and indicating how I want to work.
I mean,
Okay.
it's you can establish the scope of the project, what we need to do, what is the end goal of the project.
Yeah, yeah. So we can but how we are going to work together and build that is
Mhm,
something that we as a team need to discuss. We can
mhm,
start in one way, but we need to be flexible enough during the process
mhm,
to apply some changes.
mhm,
And one thing that I like that I always do with any team that I am as a PM, I always have a short time goals.
mhm,
Okay, for example, 1 week. Okay, what's our goal for this week? We started the week. I like to have some project meetings with my team on Monday,
mhm,
and we plan how we are going to do the week, a short time. Not that this is a iteration, for example, when you have in Scrum, right? But it's just for the team. Okay, for this week, our goal is to complete this, and that, or to act on this, and that, whatever it is, but to have a focus, okay?
mhm,
And try to focus on that because we know that sometimes we have a lot of different. requests coming from different stakeholders, from different people, and we need to concentrate in what's more important. So if we have a good, let's say, backlog of activities or work to be done, you know usually when you start the week what will be more important to complete, and then
Mhm.
the team can focus on that. But at the same way, I try to work with the teams the great view. Okay, so the
Mhm.
overall, what is the objective, the results that we want to achieve, and
Mhm.
then we go through that through different steps that we do in a weekly basis, in a daily basis. Okay, so this is how I try to work with my team as a PM, not
Mhm.
specifically like a agile PM, like a PM in general. So
Mhm.
even when you have a, a normal waterfall project, I always try to have the small pieces by week to do work that will be done. Okay.
That's nice. Yeah. I mean, it's
Uh,
that's you can make everything kind of agile. I mean, it's you can use the not necessarily ceremonies, but you don't necessarily need to call it a sprint or
exactly, exactly. Because if even if you think in some projects, when you think in the sprints, maybe you'll be different milestones that not
Mhm.
they are not regular, right, in terms of time.
Yeah.
So, and this is one of the problems that I'm going to talk later regarding, okay, about agility. But we don't need to name these things. We just need to apply it, okay?
Mhm.
Because if we think, at least for me, when you think on Agile, when it started, was a bunch of people that had success, usually development software. They came together. What we do that are common between us. It means we are seeing that if we do these steps on this way, probably we are going to get better results,
Mhm.
right? So, so when I think in Agile, I don't think, oh, it's something new, something that is change the world. No, basically are things that already happened in the past that they come together and see, okay, if we repeat these steps in
Mhm.
a methodical way, probably we are going to have better results.
Mhm.
That I totally agree. I think that's it. But it's nothing something new, that's something some totally different stuff. For example, Kanban, if you look Kanban, come from the Japanese.
Mhm.
If I'm not wrong, from the 50s
Yeah.
and comes from the manufacturing industry, right? So it's nothing new. It's just to apply in a different ways,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's why I think that the mindset of agility we can apply to anything. We
Mhm.
start talking about this the development software for IT, and then we have for IT projects in general. But I believe that this concept that is to focus, to come together, to do some retrospectives, to talk about what's going on, what is going good or not, and try to
Mhm.
improve. We can do this in any kind of business, any kind of areas, by the way. Okay,
So
not
it's
only PMs.
yeah. So it's basically the be agile. It's kind of continue learning from your errors.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you think in a team, usually a team working together is always evolving, right? They are working, and then, okay, what's not so good? So, what can we do to fix, to improve? And then we apply and
Mhm.
see if it works. If it works, great, we are a little better. If not works, whatever, let's try a different path. But
Mhm.
from time to time, we are always checking that and see what can be done differently in a better way.
Mhm.
So that's why I personally like too much in terms of agility, the retrospective
Mhm.
that is come together with the team and check all of them. However, in the beginning, when you have a new team, the retrospective sometimes not easy because the people don't want to talk, right? They are shy, or for different cultures, sometimes they don't express too much, or or they don't want to expose that themselves. Okay, it happens. So usually it takes some time until, for example, retrospective really came to be a very positive aspects or
Mhm.
positive movement. So as a leader, as a PM, you have some patience. You
For
have
sure,
developed patience.
for sure. And how you can manage that uh, the agility or the agile culture, it's still when you're using Scrum, for example, or any framework, but you still have processes that we need to follow. So it's how you can manage the team, understand that just because we are working in agile, it's not meaning that we are throwing out our existing processes. For example, in a change, if any kind of change, we need to the documentation properly. Just because we are working in agile, it's not meaning that we are throwing out, for example, the change process. Can you make them
Yeah,
understand?
yeah, that's clear, and that sometimes is what some folks think that incorrectly. Oh, we need to focus on development and not in documentation.
Hmm.
Okay, the idea is that don't waste too much time in paperwork and do the work, right?
Hmm.
It does not mean that you are going to take out everything. And we know for each company, each area, they have some process to be followed. Even the project manager, the PMI, it indicates clearly some process that needs to be followed for the goods house of a project. So that's why I say that we need to have a, a mind to embrace the different methodologies. For
Hmm.
example, like the waterfall one that has clear gates. So we need to use all of them and make it clear for the team that we are going to use. For example, we have a project sometimes, okay, we have this budget. So we need to take some count about this budget. It's not only what can I do with this budget? No, we need to do everything with this budget, right?
Yeah.
So okay, if we can't, then we can take a PCR, asking more money, whatever. But the point is that we need to adjust the tracking of the project and the controlling of the project with the regular standards or mechanisms that you need to follow, right?
Mhm. Uh,
So, and usually this is with the PM. With technician, they usually don't care too much about that.
yeah.
But we as the PM, as the leader, we need to keep an eye on that, on the hours working, on the financial part, on the timing, the targets, and as a PM in general, to keep the stakeholders happy, right?
Happy. Yeah.
Basically, our work is doing that, and then communicate the most you can.
Hmm.
I used to say, I saw several folks, usually when you talk about project management, 90%, 95% of the work is communication.
Oh, yes, yes.
That's all. And this
The
not change with Agile.
yeah, that's true. Did you have any lesson learned, or have anything that you needed to learn in a hard way in your career as an agile coach,
Hmm.
or even working in agility in an agile PM?
Think that not lesson. Well, one of them I already mentioned that the people not want to change. So
Hmm.
it's very common. Oh, no, I don't want to do anything agile. Poof, I'm doing very well with my projects and my way of working. So I think this is one challenge. The people don't want to change. And we cannot force them to change. Okay. However, we can work with them in a different way.
Hmm.
And sometimes they don't know that they are doing something in agile way. right? So this is another point because
Mhm,
when sometimes people say agile in some, not now, I think now is is normal, but sometime they said, oh, we are going to have agility in my projects and we'll solve all the problems, like
mhm,
the silver bullet the people said. No, for sure not. It's just one another approach that may help the project, the teams to work better. Only
mhm,
that. Okay, so I think there is a misunderstanding on this point. Okay, we don't want to, I believe, with Agile to replace something. We just want to come with another maybe way, approach to do the things. And then each team that needs to evaluate what will be better from that moment. Okay.
mhm,
And the term agile, sometimes the people when you said, okay, let's do in agile way, or let's have conversation about agile, usually the people don't want more that. It means
mhm,
the name, as they don't solve all the problems, sometimes the people don't want to implement or to incorporate something related with agile.
mhm,
Okay, however, if we work correctly with them, oh, it's hard to say what is correctly, but anyway, if we work with them in some way, they
mhm.
can adopt without a notice that is agile. So this is something that I learned, okay,
Uh-huh.
after some years doing that. And we need to adapt, right?
Mhm.
Especially
Yeah.
as a coach, not as a PM, but as a coach, where we are working with different teams. Each team is unique, has some objectives, have some different team members. They work already in a different way. And we need to understand what is the purpose for the team, what's the objective, what they need to deliver. And then we can adjust our coaching style as well for that team. So we
Mhm,
can move, so we can progress on that. For example, I was in account that one of my roles was exactly this, to help the different teams, different squads to work in a more agile way. Okay, so we start to introduce some concepts, some ideas with the team, and each team developed in a different way, in a
mhm,
different speed, right? Because we need to follow the path of that team. So we need to create the rapport, right, with the team. We need to create the relationship.
mhm,
Okay. And then the team start to see you like a friend, like a peer, and then we can work better.
mhm,
So this is one of the challenges. For example, when something comes just top down, it's very difficult. However, one of the problems sometimes that we face is that when we have too much support from the sponsors. Okay. So this
yeah.
is a problem. So if we don't have a strong sponsorship to try
Mhm,
to implement the things or to get this culture in the team, will be harder. Okay,
mhm,
this will demand more for the coach than if you have a good sponsor
mhm,
that indicates clear what is the path that the he or she would like the team to follow.
mhm.
Okay, so I think it's a learning, I would say.
As
Okay.
an as an agile coach, have you ever had that experience that, for example, the team manager wanted a certain method, but the team couldn't adapt? So it's, for example, they wanted the extremely strict framework from Scrum with the daily stand up, the sprint planning, the
Mm-hmm.
retrospective, and it's everything is need to be on time and clock and like a, I would say the ticking time bomb, but
Yeah, a time
no.
box it, right?
Yeah,
Everything
yes,
is a time box it.
yeah, and but the team couldn't adapt it like this, and you needed to step in as an agile coach to step the upper management to say it's okay, let them to evolve.
Not really. Thinking now, no, I didn't never have a moment like that
Mhm.
where they try to really to introduce, like I said, top down for the team and they couldn't. I
Mhm.
think I never have, but I think this is normal. Okay. They want the team to do in some way and they can't or don't want.
Mhm.
But as I mentioned in the beginning, if you are able to make the team happy, they probably will do whatever you want.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think that one of the key points to work as agile coach is that in some way you need to like people because basically is a people work all the time, connections, right?
mhm.
So you need to have contact with people to be an agile coach and to be able and to have this wish to help them. Okay. So I think this is one of characteristics I would say.
Mhm.
Uh, and to try to have fun working with them. We know that we this is not every time possible. We face problems. Everybody face problems, issue in the projects and programs, in family, in life, whatever. But in some way, we need to try to have fun.
Mhm.
And in some way, as you mentioned in the beginning, the agility. Sometimes I use in my day-by-day life, right? Like, okay, what I need to do this week is normal for me. Okay,
Mhm.
every Sunday, usually in the afternoon and at night, I take some moment what I need to do next week. Okay, in the work and in my personal life. What's
Mhm.
my goals? What I have? Okay, what party I'm going? We need to plan that. Okay,
Yes.
okay, what new restaurant I want to go this week? So not only work, but we can think in that way. So this is something that I use normally
Mhm.
in my routine to plan these things. And sometimes this is a problem because I am as a project, let not say leader, but we have this mind, the project mindset. We try to plan these things. If, for example, my wife don't like that, right? To
You
tell
lose
her
your
what to do, oh my God,
y-
that's a
honestly,
big mistake, right? Or to
I'm not.
plan, oh, oh, I'm planning to do this week. Why are you thinking on that, right? We are not there yet. So that's some situations that you need to adjust.
Yeah. I'm not a spontaneous person. I'm probably I had this. I have my calendar. If you are not in my calendar, probably we will don't won't meet in the week. If you in my calendar, we will meet. So it's but I guess it's more like a I learned how to manage my own life and how to manage my own free time. So that is more like come from that.
Yeah, yeah. And for example, and this is not with Agile, but my day by day, I have a list of activities that I plan
Mhm.
to do. Okay, in my work, for example,
Yeah.
and I am still old fashioned. I use paper. I have a paper here. I take a note. I do a list. I
Mhm.
put the priorities, what I need to do first, and follow that. And usually I don't do half of that list. No problem. Goes to the next day, but I started with a plan, not
Mhm.
just wait the things happening that I need to react or take an action.
Mhm.
So this is something that is with me. But this is not agility, right? But for example, I like to travel a lot, so I am always planning to travel to some place, and I have plans. And when I have plans, I put some milestones, some phases on that planning to have everything ready and most perfect as possible. We know
Mhm.
that's not perfect, but we most perfect as possible to have a good enjoyable time.
Mhm. So it's and actually this is my last question for the last 10 minutes. And I don't
Okay.
want to rob your time. And extremely happy that you take this conversation. So it's uh is it worth it to be an agile coach?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Because I have fun doing that,
Hmm.
and I can see the teams changing and work a little better. I think one of the challenge that we have on Agile Coach is how to make the teams working better. Even
Hmm.
that's a little bit. Okay, so I think it is. And even without I noted that noticing this, I at the end I have the feedback that I'm really helping the team members. Okay. So sometimes I receive some feedback, spontaneous feedback, and that are very nice. Okay. That's like
Hmm.
that you say, okay, it's worthing to work with this team and
Hmm.
to in some way helping in them. And sometimes I don't know exactly what I'm really did to help them. I'm just talking about some knowledge and try to adjust, but
Hmm.
it helps. So in this way, I think is worth it as a for me personally.
Do you think that as a project manager or as an agile coach, it should receive any coaching training and communication training, like assertive communication?
I think so. I think so. I think that in some way we need to have in communities with peers and folks with the same kind of work and trainings always, right? We always, I think, are able to get trainings and we are always learning.
Hmm.
Okay. I think that even if you are a coach in any area, not only in agility, always you are able to learn. And to be honest, when you are coaching, you are learning, right? You are always learning with the people that or the teams that you are coaching
Hmm.
as well. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we should have that. And one interesting thing here in my city, where I live, in Campinas, that is a city in Brazil that has a lot of IT companies,
Hmm.
technology, and and there are group of agility that they met every month, usually on Saturday morning in a group to do conversations about agile, about work, about projects, about market. And usually is like I would say, I forgot the name, is an international way to do that, where everybody be together in
Uh-huh.
group of five or six, and they decide what to discuss and have some times and talk between them about the topics. I
Like a
forgot
round table.
the meetup
Meetup,
sessions,
meetup
meetup.
sessions.
And this happened since I think 2018 or 19 in almost a monthly basis. I don't go every month, far from that. I used to go more.
Hmm.
Lately, I prefer to go to play beach tennis, for example, in the morning. If you have a good time, then go to talk about agile. But anyway, it's good when you have this kind of contacts, relationship, so you can understand better
Hmm.
how this kind of business is going. So we always learn because
That's nice.
inside some company, for example, sometimes if the company don't really invest in this kind of knowledge,
Hmm.
you be alone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely.
That's happened.
But it's nice that the community it started to self going to be a self-organization,
Yeah,
knowledge transfer think tank.
exactly. It's always learn. So if you want to discuss about it or learn something more, it's wonderful. It's a good timing to go. But it's interesting because a lot of people that I work, for example, in my company, oh, I would like to learn more. And then I said, okay, if you want to, you can go with me next Friday, next Saturday morning. Oh no, Saturday I have something to do. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody choose whatever they want,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
That's true. I mean, it's the Sunday morning talk with other people. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea because that's the one day mostly when I don't need to talk willingly. I don't need to talk anymore. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, but it's a really nice concept that if you want to learn that you have a community that who will understand your struggles and may be able to help, or maybe they face the same issues
Exactly,
previously.
exactly. And most of the conversation sometimes is this. We have some topic and everybody discuss about their own experience about that topic. And for
Hmm.
sure, what I have to go through maybe help you or somebody when
Hmm.
we said like a
That's nice.
therapy.
Therapy for PMs.
And oh, then we need some targets, and then we need some guns.
or the darts.
The
It's
darts,
enough.
yes, the darts better.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'm thank you.
Anyway,
I will stop the recording for this interview. I really appreciate it. It's a nice. If you want, I can send it to you too.
you can send whatever. But anyway, for me it was a pleasure. I like to talk about this topic, and if I'm helping you, much better. You are a
Definitely.
you are a good person that I met uh, in last year. I really enjoy it.
I'm really